Guys, welcome to the channel. I just want to show you guys some very simple method to process your tomatoes, and I will just show you how I do mine. I just have my pot here on top of my sink, and I have some tomatoes in the sink, and I have some of my peppers and an empty bowl to put seeds because I'll be saving some of the seeds on the big tomato. So I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. It's very simple, very straightforward. In my pot here, I just have the tomatoes, and you can see it has lots of juice in it. So I'm going to be scooping that juice out. But I have my washed tomatoes here, and then I have an extra bowl which I keep in the sink, and I just put my pieces of tomatoes that is not good, and I don't really use a cutting board. I just find it so easy just to slice the tomatoes. I don't take the skins off. I've never done it, and I have no problem with it. And I just keep this bowl here, and I just squeeze seeds out. So I choose the best tomatoes, and then I squeeze the seeds out because I want to save seeds. Like these are huge ones, so I'm just gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna just squeeze the seeds out of this because I want this variety of tomato for next season. And all I'm gonna do is cut these tomatoes up. Now I am doing double duty because I'm gonna be cutting up the tomatoes that I want to make sauce with, and then when I finish cutting up all these tomatoes, I am also going to take off what I want for freezing, because some I'll be making sauces and some will be for freezing. But I like to cut it up that way and just do double duty, so I'm not cutting up some set for freezing and some set for making sauces. So once my pot is filled up, I take out what I need, and then I just continue on. So for me, it's just easy. I just use a serrated knife, and I just cut up my tomatoes in chunks, or not very big chunks, but in small chunks. And then I just get rid of the top part. I know some people, they use like a little scoopy thing to scoop it out, but for me it works really well. And I just drop it in there, and like a tomato like this, I will definitely save the seed. It's a really nice beefy tomato, so the seed goes in there. And this year I'm not separating the seeds too much, because it's just that I have lots of tomatoes, and I just want the time or the jars to separate them and label them. So I'm just going to do it like this, and hopefully next year I'll be able to separate them again by the kind of tomatoes they are. But I like to take out a lot of the beautiful looking ones, and these are the best one. And if you want to save seeds, that's what you do. And when I plant the tomatoes next year, it doesn't matter because they're gonna come up all different shapes and size and color, and it just gives a nice color to the garden itself, having like different shapes and different kinds of tomatoes staggered in different areas. So this is one of my Italian tomatoes, and I'm just gonna add it in there. So I have a whole bunch of tomato seeds in there, and I'll make a video showing you guys how I do my seeds, because this is just the beginning. This is the first process of the seeds. They have to be fermented, and I already fermented some, and I have some that is ready to be strained out and dry. So I'll make another video tomorrow and show you guys, but tonight it's a race against time because I have all these tomatoes to do, and tomorrow I have to go back to the garden and pick some more tomato and unpack it again, canning. So I'm just trying to do all this canning tonight before I go to bed, and then in the morning I can continue the rest, because all this canning and preserving is beautiful, but I have so much stuff in the garden, like kind of behind and I need to catch up on my canning, so I need to get with it. So this is what I do basically. It's nothing hard or complicated or whatever. I just continue to do this until I have all my tomatoes in my pot, and then I will come back and show you guys the next step. And there is no rhyme or rhythm to that, but I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore. I'll see you in a little bit. So I've cut my tomatoes in chunks, and this is what I've got. The lighting is not that great. Let me see if I can get a better. Oh, there's the lighting for you guys. But anyways, guys, this is the tomatoes. And look at all the water. But this water, I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna can it as tomato juice. So I have this. I still have some tomatoes left here. This one's a little bit hard, so I'm gonna add them with another container that I have. I have my peppers here, and then this is the tomato seeds that I took out from the best and the biggest tomatoes, and then this is all the ones that pieces that had some bad spots or something. I took it out, and that's gonna go to the compost. So just get rid of that. And now I'm gonna show you guys how I do my seeds. So first, I'm gonna get my large strainer and strain the seeds out. So I got my big strainer. I'm just gonna lay it on top here, and then I pour all the juices and the seeds in there, and then I just simply put my hands in there and I switch it around. If there's any big pieces, I just take it out, drop it in there, and I shake it around because I want the pulp to come out. And I shake it around. You want to do that because you want to get all the juices that are in there out and inside the tomato. So that's exactly what you want. And then this is how it's gonna look. If there's any pieces of tomatoes, just take it out. Just take out the big pieces like these pieces, just take it out and just put it back in there because you don't want that in there. Just kind of get rid of let the seeds stay. Okay, and if there's any chunks, just take your time and take out the chunks if you want to do that, but this is good now. And then I just pour it back into the bowl. Shake out as much seeds as I can into the bowl. So a little bit left on the side. Just get it in there. Make sure all these precious seeds go in there. And that's it. And I'll just leave it in there for tonight. Tomorrow I'll pour it in a can and I'll leave it to ferment. So we'll leave that. Now for here, I'm gonna put my cover. So all I'm gonna do is cover this and then get it on the stove to cook. So my pot of tomatoes is on the stove and it's ready to cook. And as this tomato is cooking, I will come in and I will just go to the side and I will just scoop out any juices that comes up. I'll just scoop the juice like this out and I will put it inside a mason jar. There's a lot of juices in there already to come out, so I'll do that and I'll show you guys how much juice I get. So here is my tomato juice that I did from the pot, and I'm gonna start to can them. I'm gonna put them in smaller jars and can them, but this is what I got. I also have another jar here, and I don't know what happened. It just seems to like it started to ferment or something, so I definitely don't know what's going ahead with that, and I don't know if I'm gonna can this. So my tomato sauce is ready, and I left it on the stove overnight, and that's the way I like to do it. I like to make it, and once it's finished, I don't bottle it up the same night. I like to leave it overnight, and the next day I'll blend it, and then I leave it another day again to kind of ferment. That's how I like to do my sauce. I ferment them after, and then they last pretty long. So oops, I'm gonna try to not get tomato sauce all over my counter, but what I do is I just blend it all up, seeds and everything together, because that's just the way I do it. And you give it a good old blend until everything is blended to the way you like it. And all my garlic and all my seasonings are in there, and you can see it's steaming hot. So that's the way I like to do it. When it's hot, then I leave it to rest a bit. I think it's pretty good and blended. So this is what it looks like, all nice and blended. And get a little bit more. My tomato sauce is nice and blended, and now I'm gonna leave it to cool down and leave it to ferment for another day. Then I'm gonna pour it in my jar. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm not gonna leave it another day, because I already left it for one day to ferment, because it kind of brings up the flavor. Maybe I'll just pour it today, since I have so much tomato to process. Maybe when I get to the very last batch, I'll do a fermentation batch. But this batch, actually, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna leave it to cool down a little bit, and then I will come back and show you guys the rest of the process. And I just want to show you what I put in there. I put celery, seasoning, salt, with yeah, just seasoning salt, and then I have some parsley. This is chopped chives, and a lot of basil. I put a lot of basil. So that's just the first batch, and then I have some onion in there, and I have some fermented garlic and some fermented garlic oil in there. So that's just what is in this first batch, and this batch is more like for like pizza and stuff like that. So this is a batch, and I don't want to make it too strongly flavored, so I'm not adding any more flavoring. But the rest, for tomato sauces and stuff, like for pasta sauce and stuff, I'll be adding much more flavor in it. So that's what it is, and I'll see you in a little bit. Very thick. So my sauce is finished, completely finished, and I already poured most of it inside my jars. What I do is I use a casserole dish and put all my cans inside, so that it minimizes the splatter and the mess. Everything is gonna go into the pan, and I just keep the pot on the stove, and then I just pour here, and then I'll move it over to the counter when I'm ready to clean the top of the jar before I put the jars into my canning pot here. The water is there, it's already boiled, and have it on low. So in like 1 minute it's gonna come up to boil. Then I can set my timer for 15 minutes to put my jars in. So I'm almost finished. I have one more jar remaining, and I think I'm gonna need another jar. I think I didn't wash enough jars, but if I have leftovers, I am going to use it for some cooking tomorrow or something, because I'm just not in the mood to go wash any more jars. I'm just gonna store it in the fridge and use it for that because it's late and I've just been canning and I don't have the energy to go wash any more pots any more things. So anyways, that's that. So I still have extras in the pot. I think I have one more bottle there, but I'm gonna leave that in the fridge. So these ones are ready. So I'm just gonna lift that casserole pan up and I'm gonna take it to the counter right here. I have my water, my very warm water. I have my cloth here in my warm water, and I will just wipe all the jars, top of the jars, to make sure nothing fell onto the lid. And I just wipe all of them around because I don't want any little bit of sauce or something to stay on the lid to cause it to cause a problem. So I just wipe inside all the bottles and I make sure all the tops are clean, very, very clean. Anything that's on the edge, I get rid of it, and then it's ready to be covered up. So all of them is ready. I have my lids in here in this pot, and I'm gonna get my lids out and just put them on. And when you put in your lids on, you want to make sure that they're not very, very tight. They're just finger tight. Because if you put them too tight, it's not gonna seal properly. So, oops, this one is pretty hot. So, just take your time and put them on, just finger tight. I think I put my put the wrong thing in the bottom, so I gotta take it out. The stand in the bottom, it's the wrong stand. It's for my other canning pot, so I gotta remove that and put a smaller one in there because this one is way too big. This is my bigger pot, so I'm gonna get that out. Get my smaller canning thing goes in there, and now it's ready to really can. That was the wrong one. The bottles are not really hot because the contents are just warm in there because I let them cool down, so that's good. And just gonna put them in there. And I think this pot can hold 8. Ooh. And I think I put in too much water in the pot. Yeah, it's definitely gonna overflow. Disaster. So let's take some water out. Just way too much water in that pot. You see, guys, I'm just showing you every single thing. Mistakes that you can make when you are canning. If you put too much water in the pot, when you put your cans in, when you put your jars in, the water is gonna overflow. So this pot can hold 9 bottles. 7 bottles. So I have 6. And I guess I could have done the last one, but No, I will not do it because I don't feel up to it. But anyways, that's what it is. And now I'm gonna put the last one in, and still gotta take some more water out because there's just too much water in there. So the pot has started to boil, and now the pot has started to boil. I am going to cover it once I get enough water out. I don't know, this is my first year that ever happened to me. I usually put the water lower. I don't know what happened this time, but I'm showing you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly in canning. So had I just plopped that would have been a great disaster. So my lids are popping. Maybe I need to close them. Ah! A little bit more. Alright, so everything is in there, and let me get the cover on and I'll come back. It's not boiling completely yet, so I'm gonna wait another 2 minutes until it is completely boiling, and then once it starts to boil, okay, I see it starting to boil there a little bit. Once it comes to a full boil, then I'm gonna start my timer for 15 minutes, and then in 15 minutes I'll close off the stove. Then I will leave it for 5 minutes. Then I will prepare my counter with my cloth and take them out, and I will see you in a little bit. So my timer has gone off and my cans are ready to come out. Now I noticed this year that I have this white stuff on my jar. Never had that before. I don't know why I have that white stuff on my jar, but I guess I'll find out later. I think they said you should put some vinegar or something in the water to prevent that, but that never happened to me before, so I never had to do that. But anyways, that's what I have on my jar this year. I'm not really worried about it at all. So I set my towel up here, and I'm just gonna take my jar out one by one, and they're already popping. I'm just taking them out and laying them down. You can hear the popping. They are popping. And there we go. And there. So I made 6 tonight. And oops. This one tried to escape. And that's it. So let's line them up nicely, making sure they don't touch each other so they can cool down overnight. And tomorrow we will start this process all over again, doing some more of this. Oops, they're hot. They're hot. They're hot. So they're gonna seal themselves. Oh, this white stuff. Anyways, I clean that after. But all of them have it except that one. But anyways, I will leave them over there tonight. I have one other jar, which I didn't do because I'm gonna use it tomorrow to make pizza. And tomorrow we're gonna do this all over again, but this time I am making my beautiful garlic tomato sauce. So I'll do it again tomorrow. And yeah, so guys, thanks for watching. My sauce is finished. I'm exhausted. I've been canning and preserving things all day long, and I'm ready to hit the sack. So good night, and I'll see you in the next video.